Welcome to Women in Hospitality. This is the podcast where we're talking with inspiring female leaders about hospitality industry and F&B in general. And today we are discussing a very interesting topic. We are talking about something which every single woman actually is thinking about. Can women have it all, really? And today I'm having a beautiful lady who is joining me in the podcast. She is our leadership, our elegance. She's representative a lot of women empowerment in hospitality and, of course, worldwide in general. It's Monica Metzger.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Monica has over 20 years of experience in luxury hospitality across Europe and the Middle East, leading pre-opening lifestyle concepts and luxury operations in Dubai right now, with brands like Kimpton, Ennismore, St. Regis, and W Hotels. Being a cool mom, first of all. Thank you so much for joining. It's really pleasure, and I'm really happy to see you over here with me. And I think today this is really important topic that we will open up. But before that, I wanted to ask you a few questions, right?
Of course.
Who is Monica Metzger in general, and how did you end up being in hospitality, and what actually inspired you to be in hospitality, to be leader there?
You're probably going to be very disappointed by my answer. So Monica right now is first of all a mom. Okay. It's something that I rediscovered in the past years. I will talk about it later if there is a chance. I got into hospitality by total chance. I was vacationing with my parents in Spain a lot in a small place called La Manga in the south. So after I finished high school, we spent like 2-3 months. And of course, when you're 18 years old, the last thing you want to do is spend all your vacation with your parents. So there was this cocktail place where we used to go almost every evening. And then since years, we were friends with the owner. And then I just said, okay, I want to work, right? Let me do something 2-3 months. It's going to be boring. So I started, bartending. But first it was just like, bringing the check and getting the cash. And then I was learning, how to carry a tray. And then that's the extent. I never actually went behind the bar, even though my interest in mixology grew from there. And then I actually went back and started university. But then my family decided to move to Spain for good. So I quit university. So I'm one of those who only have high school diploma, guys. I didn't go to any hotel school or I don't have a degree, which is something that in hindsight, I kind of regret. But anyhow, so we moved and I couldn't stay at home doing nothing. So my stepdad got me an interview in Hyatt. I had no experience apart from those 2 months in summer. And because of my languages and my personality and my smile and my bubbliness, I got a job as a hostess. And that's how it started. And then it just became my career, but it was not something that I've intentionally picked or some people do. So that's how I got into it.
You cannot imagine. The first experience in hospitality was in Hyatt as a hostess as
there
well.
You go. See?
Honestly. And I didn't know what hostess means in general. So I was just, okay, I'm grabbing the opportunity because it's Hyatt's a worldwide hotel chain. I need to go there. I don't care who is hostess.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, it's the same.
Yes.
Wow. And so now you had a lot of moments in your life. Now you're in the top positions. You're empowering women in general in the leadership and the management. What exactly was the moments in your life who actually shaped you up being who you are as a leader? What exactly the moments? Maybe it's few moments in general, but what is the style of Monica now?
I mean, who shaped me? I mean, it's everybody that I've encountered in my career. Obviously, my mom, the way she brought me up as a strong woman. I mean, she had the husbands and, and boyfriends, etc. But she was mainly, almost a single mom. So she brought me up to be very strong and independent. So I guess that's the foundation where everything comes from. She also gave me a lot of opportunities. I was just, my daughter always laughs because she's super lazy, right? And when I tell her stories about the fact that I did ice skating, I did ballet, I get rhythmic gymnastic, I did language classes, and she's just, in awe about where did you find the time? But my my mom just opened a lot of doors for me to just try out to see what I liked. So I think that's the foundation. And then in my career, I met a lot of people who believed in me. But also the most important thing is that I was always probably too passionate, too fiery. I calmed down a lot, but back in the days, I remember and I'm like, oh my God, Monica, why did you say that? Or why did you do that, right? But that's when you're young, I suppose. But I always asked for what I wanted. I remember one particular incident when I got a new EAM of food and beverage. I was a restaurant manager at the time, and I knew I could do the job of an F&B manager. So like literally 2 days into his job, I spoke to him and I said, you need to give me the position. Like, I'm ready for it. Even when I got my complex director of food and beverage in Minas CI, overlooking 23 restaurants and bars, I went to my boss and I told him, I'm ready. You can give me the position. So I was much more, I would say, probably confident back in the days. I think with age, a lot of things, things change. But that's what I've done. But I had a lot of mentors, particularly men, I would like to say. I've been extremely lucky being a woman, where I encountered a lot of leaders who love working with women and see, the nuances that we can bring, especially in hospitality, right? I appreciate men, the more clinical, they're more like number oriented. But we have that softness and that empathy that men don't usually possess. And it's a biological thing. I mean, you cannot fault them or us. We're just built in a different manner. But yeah, I was very lucky, and I had so many people that I looked up to and learned from. But I have to say that unfortunately, apart from a few, nobody really sits you down to teach you anything. It's you have to grasp, the information, be there, be the one to ask questions, and never be scared to say, I don't know, can you teach me, right? A lot of people feel scared about asking questions, but I think one of my secrets, even when I opened Mama Shelter as a hotel manager in charge, I was coming out of F&B. I had no idea about so many departments, but I was never scared to ask my team who was reporting to me, like revenue, sales. Okay, come, sit down. Now you're gonna teach me how to read this, how to do this. I've never been scared of that, and I don't think people should be scared.
This is amazing. Honestly, we were talking this with previous partner, let's say, of my episodes, Yvette, and we were talking about the same thing. We are the one who's actually asking a lot of questions, and sometimes men actually not asking the questions and they're doing their own way. So that's why it's very important. But I'm amazed that you were sitting and asking, okay, I'm ready, because some of the females are waiting when somebody will come and actually give them the opportunity to get promotion or something like that. So I think the confidence is there. So how did you gain this confidence? It was always with you there, or you gained somehow this confidence throughout the years?
I think it's always been something very intrinsic with me. It's not something that I learned. I think, again, goes back to the foundation, how, my mom made me stronger from the beginning. She was a very tough mom, right? I didn't really have a life until I moved to Dubai 19 years ago, right? She was like, even when I was more than 20 years old, I had curfew, I had to do things a certain way. But I guess, that structure stayed with me, and and she always believed in me, even when she was not really happy that I didn't go to university and decided to do something totally out of the realm of what both her and my dad did. She said, okay, no problem, you go and do it, but you need to reach a certain level in your career, and you need to stick with it, right? Otherwise, back you go to university. And so I proved it right. So I think, I'm not saying that confidence cannot be nurtured, but I think it's easier when there's just something inside of you that just makes it slightly easier, I would say. Yeah.
I think the energy as well, it is very important,
very
right?
Important, yes.
And we will talk about this afterwards. But in general, you very energetic person. I'm sitting next to you. I can feel the energy. It's like whole room already vibing, because Monica is here. And this is really important that you gain this energy, like not gain, but you have this energy throughout all of these years. And some of the years were not being happy all the time, right? You had your tough moments, you had your moments that you were doubting yourself in a lot of things. So of course this energy is here. I'm telling you, this energy is here.
Thank you.
So now we will talk about the main question of our episode.
Okay.
can women really have it all? Like to be to having successful career, to be a mother, to have a good relationship with your partner, to have her own happiness, to have wellness, to travel, and do not lose this. Like, do not lose yourself in all of those ways.
Yeah.
How do you think? What means for you to have it really all as a woman?
I think this question has a lot of different facets.
Yeah.
First of all, I think, what does it mean to have it all? I think it's a very subjective thing,
Correct.
right? Whatever means having it all to you is totally different than what it means to me and the next person. So I think first you need to define what having all means to you, and then you start from there. So as I progressed through the years, not even my career, but just through my years as a person on this planet and as a woman, my priorities have shifted so much, right? Before it was like all about, having fun, be more selfish, putting myself first. And that goes back to what I said at the beginning, that now I'm foremost a mom, because probably in the first years of her life, when my mom was still alive and taking care of her here, she was living with us, I had more freedom to put my career and my life first, right? So that has changed. I think like anything in life, it's what you put your mind to it, I don't sit down in the morning and say, okay, these are the most important things in my life. I don't do that. I'm a much more instinctive person. I just do what makes me feel good. I know that, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to be fine. Right now, as I said, my daughter is my priority because she's my favorite person in the world.
She is writing the novels, right?
Yeah, she stopped a bit, unfortunately, but she's still, creative, funny. And if I have to choose between meeting anyone and spending time with my daughter, surprisingly enough, I want to spend time with my daughter. For being almost 15, she still loves mommy and she loves spending time with me. And I'm really cherishing this time because I know that soon it will be over when she flies the nest. So I'm enjoying. Work has shifted. I mean, it's still important, of course, but many years ago it was all that I could think about. And I gave up, so many things for work, relationship, time with my mom, time with my daughter, time for my health. I gave up so much for it. So I decided that was a conscious decision that I have to it's a job, guys. I mean, and I say this to everybody, career is important. If you're really passionate about it, you should pursue it, but it's not everything, I'm sure you heard that there are so many, books and podcasts and stories about, what people think about when they're about to die. Sorry, I don't want to get, too grim here, but it's the reality,
yeah,
right?
It's true.
Nobody talks about work. It should fulfill you, and it's so much a big part of our lives, but it's not everything. So right now for me is my daughter, my health, work is still important, but it's not the number one priority anymore. And yes, I think women can have it all. Once you decide what's important for you, then, women, we always find a way to make it work, right? We always find time and etc. But in the realm of that, be selfish. Don't be scared of putting yourself first. I mean, I consciously decide not to have a partner now already more than 3 years because I don't want it, but that's me, right? I'm not actively looking for a partner. Maybe if I would add partner to the mix, it would be a little bit more difficult to have it all because they do take a lot of time out of your hands. But I know a lot of women who are in my same shoes, like having a career, having, kids are even smaller, they require more attention and have a partner and they're perfectly fine. So I know it's possible.
It's true. And for me, for example, to have it all as the same as you said, everybody defines from themselves what does it mean to have it all. For you, for example, and I understood that the first place that you have is motherhood. So you really want to be a perfect mom, spend time with your kid. And I think it's really, really important for every single woman who has the kid.
Yeah.
And I think then when you have already a baby, the shift in focus on the baby from the career itself.
Yeah.
But whenever you've been young, then it was completely different, have
Correct.
it all, right?
Yes.
Because then you had your career, I will achieve these goals, I will go there, I will, attend some of the meetings, I will have this position, and then I will be the most happier person
Yes.
ever. So I think throughout the years we are shifting our have it all, but at the same time I think we can have all.
Yes.
And this is the main important thing for us to know that we can have if we want.
Yes,
if
of
you
course.
want, if you
Yeah.
have this energy, to climb the mountains, use it. Use
Yeah.
it for whatever you really want, and do not sit on the sofa. If you will sit on the sofa and then you will do anything, no, nothing will happen.
But you should definitely sit on the sofa also.
Sometimes.
You should. It's very important to recharge, because the flame doesn't last forever
True.
if you don't nurture it, right?
True.
And that's also another thing, very popular, but not only in women, in anybody, the burnout, the trying to push yourself too hard. I think you need to listen to your body, and trust me, once you get into your 40s, your body tells you that, okay, you need to take a break. But, at the end of the day, I think another thing that is very important is don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it and you can't have it all. Right, that's very important. I was very lucky because I never let anyone, tell me what to do or when to do it, and apart from my mom, obviously. But I hear so many sad stories of women that have the feeling that they cannot, that they have to compromise. At the end of the day, so many people and the things are important in your life, but nobody else can take care of you as much as you can, right? And this is not some mambo jumbo, how do I say, positivity talk or etc. But I know it from my own experience. So you have to believe that you can do it, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
True. You've been as a leader, for example, if you're jumping now to the career path. Did you notice that you need to work sometimes harder because you've been as a woman, and to prove to somebody that you can do it, that you can lead it, that you can have the opportunity? Have you had this?
No, as I told you before, I've been extremely lucky. I had male leaders
pushed
who
you.
really, truly believed in just, the results and the work being done as a testament of who I was as a person or as a professional. So I've been extremely lucky, but I know it's not always the case. I think what still is difficult for women to prove, because obviously we have a more, empathetic side. We are nicer. We're cute. We just understand people better, because this is how we're built biologically. For us to nurture and take care of others. And sometimes I feel that a lot of people see that as a negative thing instead of a positive thing, especially in hospitality, where you work with people, for the people. How can this be wrong? Actually, you should use it to the advantage, because we can read the people most of the time much better than men, because we just the famous sixth sense, whatever you want to call it, right? It's inbuilt in us. So many times I heard people saying, "Oh, you're too emotional," etc. Of course I'm emotional, but I'm proudly so. I remember many years ago, this was a big thing for me, like the emotional part. And I remember is probably the only thing that I had to really work on as a leader when I became an ex-com. I had one mentor. He was my hotel manager at the time. We helped each other. He was new to Dubai and he didn't know, what to do, how to behave. And coming from outside to Minas Gerais as an outsider was a big thing, because it's such a big machine with a lot of people there for a lot of years. So I helped him integrate, and he helped me navigate, how to be more palatable, let's say, to others. Okay. And he was telling me, you need to work on your poker face. You need to work on controlling your emotions. So I worked on that, because I recognized that I could be very abruptive, right? That sometimes you really need to kind of chill out a bit and not really say the first thing that comes to your mind. So I learned that throughout the years, and that was a huge lesson. But that doesn't mean that if, somebody has a family issue or something happen, I will not be there to hug you. It's not going to happen. And I'm never going to change. And I'm very proud of that. Even though so many leaders that were in charge of me, they always says, "No, Monica, you need to be more detached. You need to be more this. And more. No, I refuse, because it's such a big part of me, right?"
This is, and whenever you're talking now, I'm just having my thoughts on that, because whatever you're saying is reflecting on me. I'm caused to be emotional all the time. I caused to work on my poker face as well, to smile to everybody, and just again, we had the conversation about flower pot, that you always needs to be bubbly and charming and everything, because you're working in hospitality, you're a woman, and everything about that. But yeah, it's honestly, whatever you're saying is true. We are really empathetic, we are really emotional, and in a good way as well. Yes, we need to work on some of the parts of how to actually handle in better situations, but in general, yes, it's completely, I understand your point, like there is no tomorrow. So hospitality in general is really draining us, right? We are working long hours. You need to be all the time available, especially if you're on the high positions. You always need to have the answers for everything. Did you ever like have this exhaustion? Did you think sometimes that, oh my God, it's maybe not for me because I'm too tired, I have a burnout, I don't like what I'm doing, I need to have a look on other careers?
Oh, so many times.
Let's talk about this.
No, okay. No doubt until 2019 that I was doing the right thing. And that's when I left H.E.R. I think more than a career, and this is a big advice that you didn't ask for, but I'm going to give it for anybody out there, is, company, great, brand, great. But the most important thing that you should do when you look for a job is, okay, the project per se, right, to make sure you resonate with it, and the people that you're going to work with. And that can be the GM, other people, the owners, if you're in a higher position enough, because that makes all the difference. So when I left H.E.R., like 4 months after, COVID broke through. And it's the first time in my life that I lost a job. So you can imagine, like that is a big hit. It was a huge hit to my confidence. And not only that, but also I was scared because, I've been a single mom for like more than 10 years now. And my mom was living with us. My daughter was like 4 years old. So you're talking about me being the sole provider at home. And, scared, like what's going to happen? We don't have any living relative around the world. So if something happens to me, like I am responsible of to other people. So luckily, because of the connections in the city and being here so long, I managed to scrape through. But by scrape through, I'm saying, just doing a job because I needed a salary without necessarily having a passion into it. Or if I did, it gave me a little bit of excitement for a couple of months, but then it suddenly dwindled down. And then my mom passed away in September 2021. And it was a huge, huge hit for my life, not only because she was here with us taking care of Myra and our, love-hate relationship throughout our years. I'm sure all moms and daughters out there can understand what I'm talking about. But I was like suddenly like just alone with a small daughter to take care of. And one thing that I do really well, I work extremely well under pressure. Actually, I work better under pressure. So, sorting out the affairs, the funeral, and then coming back. And then after a month and a week, I was starting a new job and I was getting back into hotels. So I started my job in W. de Palm. And all of that in this tumultuous situation of my feelings, but I really I didn't have time to grieve because I was like, a military operation, right? Bury my mom, empty the house, come back, empty this house, find the nanny, etc., etc. And I was just like under so much pressure that almost like the Palm season of 1 year, 8 months was similar to H.E.R. So I was okay there. But then, it was not as seamless as it was in Mina. I remember Mina was 11 years. There is not one day in those 11 years that I didn't go to work happy to be there. Wow. And I didn't get that feeling that much again with that intensity after that, no matter where I worked. And I worked like in 3, 4, 5 places after that. Mama came close. I mean, imagine, to be given this opportunity to open, a new brand as a hotel manager in charge, meaning no GM. So basically on paper, you're a hotel manager, but you are the GM. getting to put together your own team, choosing the people to surround you, opening a hotel for the first time. So I did like all these first things, and I was scared at the beginning. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. But then I just did it because, again, under pressure, I work super good. And we opened. But it was a bittersweet experience in the end, right? So there was always a part of me from 2019 until now, still, it's the back of my head, that I'm supposed to be doing something else with my life. That I have a lot of skills that can be used for better. But, I didn't get that, that light bulb moment that I'm like, oh my God, I woke up, I'm going to do this. I didn't get that yet. I have a very good friend of mine, Isabella. By the way, everybody should do their events with Isabella. What's next? Hashtag, ad. put. And she's part of H.E.R, of course. She was with me in Mama, and she had a bad experience during it. And she just, opened her own business. Because she had that thing in her head that she wanted to do. So I'm waiting for that thing. Maybe it's something that will be tangent to hospitality. And I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying my job right now. I do, because I'm still doing an opening. It's creative. Yeah. I get to hire people, etc. But I don't know whether it's age or something else, but it's niggling at me that, probably there's something else waiting for me out there. You know what I mean? It is such a weird feeling, but I've been having it for so long. And since I'm a huge reader, I picked up all the book, Finding Your Passion, what's next in your life, all of these things. But no, unfortunately, I didn't find the answer yet. But one thing I know is that every single career decision that I've done in my life came at the right moment for the right reason. Every single one of them just literally fell in my lap. I almost didn't have to go and look for it. So I hope that this will continue to happen for the years to come.
True. Honestly, again, reflecting on the same way. I never searched for the job so much. It was coming to me by itself. And as you're saying as well, I'm reading the books, finding my own passion, because I feel that there is something it's not fulfilling me enough, the hospitality itself, fulfilling me enough. And that's why actually I came up with podcast as well, just to share the experience, what we have, because I know a lot of ladies are struggling being as a young leader, or just want to have the leadership position. And, just to give the tips as well, whatever we were going through. And I think it is very important to share the experience in general. So I woke up with this. This is I started to do now. Let's see what will be afterwards. But now you said about HIH.
Yes.
So hospitality in heels. Now tell us more about the community that you have been created, and you're supporting women in general over there. How are this working, and what was the idea behind all of this?
Okay. So first of all, I cannot take a credit for the idea per se. That should go to Leanne. Okay. Was a fantastic, amazing woman who actually started all this. And it's a bit funny because it didn't start with this idea at all. Literally, it was a WhatsApp group to organize a ladies' dinner many, many years ago. If memory serves me well, it was Gaia, probably 10 years ago or something.
Oh, wow.
Maybe less. I don't know. I would need to check because I still have the group and the pictures from then. So then the group stayed active. Okay. And I think Leanne is the true heart of Hospitality in Heels, not only because obviously she had this idea to do this, International Women's Day dinner that started it all, but she kept on going.
Pushing.
So how I came on board along with Eva from Food Fund was during COVID, right? Because obviously I was 4 months at home. And we had our biggest International Women's Day HIH dinner just a few days. It was 8th of March, right? And I think 1920 is when they closed shop, right? Closed the airport, closed everything. So we were like, oh, okay, right? So that group exploded during COVID because we couldn't see each other, but everybody was working in the business and everybody had so many doubts, so many questions. So it really, skyrocketed from there as a mean of exchanging information about COVID. Here is the new, information about what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. And that's funny enough, that's how it started. And that's how we kept adding people. Then when COVID eased up, but we still had enough time because I was working in F&B jobs that were not in a hotel, so I had more time, right? Especially when I was working in the Pachica, when I took over from Sandy Al Hayek, I was working 8:30 to 4:30, which, as you know, in hotels,
Wow.
I never, I know,
Wow.
right? Wow. I was like, 4:30, what do I do with myself now? I have like a whole day ahead of me. But anyhow, we started meeting because our objective was to make HIH more than a WhatsApp group just to meet for dinner. And we tried so hard, right? We had so many ideas. We had like a manifesto, we even secured an Instagram handle and, the website name because we wanted it to do more, like this. Let's do a podcast or like Florencia did the other day. Let's do yoga,
Yeah,
not just, dinner and drinks, which is still fine because it's part of us,
Yes.
right? We like to meet and have our bubbles and etc. But we wanted to do something more, recommend books. And all of us have different connections or different skills that we can teach other people. So we spent like all of COVID putting all of this together, and then unfortunately nothing came of it because then I got a job, I got super busy, and then everybody went on with things and more responsibility. And it's still one of my biggest regrets. And it's not to say that I still don't want to do it. I so want to do it, but man, to do it properly, with the website, with the newsletter, with arranging events, it doesn't just happen like this, right?
True.
Somebody needs to take the payment, the reservation, or arrange, organize, etc. So it's
true.
you
It's
almost
headache.
need a full-time job to do this. But it's still something that I'm truly passionate about. It's always at the back of my head that I want it to become something more. So at the moment, what I do in my personal and professional life is try to, be there for women who are coming, and working with me, to be there for them when they want to talk or have any doubts. I have a nickname. They call me Mama since like forever. I don't know how it stuck. Maybe
And
because
then you've been working in mama shelter.
by today's standard, I was a mom relatively early. So before I was 30. These days, nobody's a mom before 30,
true.
right? So I think that's where it came about. But because I suppose because I exude this thing of I can be tough when I need to be, but I will hug you and squeeze you when you need it, right? So I try to do the same, not only with girls, also with guys when they need it, right? They need sometimes a mom presence in their life. So people, look up at me, and I'm always in awe because they're like, "What are you looking up at?" Right? And probably I'm the stupid one here that doesn't see what they're seeing in me, and I feel very humbled by it. Because they see, yes, that I'm a mom and I have super good relationship with my daughter, and I travel when I can, and I'm progressing in my career and etc. But I just see what I've done as something totally natural and normal. So all I can, tell others is what I've learned, the lessons that I've learned in my career, what I did wrong, which absolutely 100%, a lot of things I've done wrong, what I learned from it, what I try to do moving forward. And still in the hopes that, we can do something more with HIH, because I know that Leanne also is always wanting to do something, but she's always so busy because she has these dinners and these events, and obviously now she has a great title in A&E. She was, I believe, the first sales in charge lady in A&E, which is an amazing accomplishment, right?
We are waiting for you.
Yes, Leanne, please come back already. I know you love Donnie, but we miss you. I haven't seen her in months. So anyhow, now we are just waiting for Leanne to come back so that we can organize a get together before the summer. And also another thing that we have introduced, I think it was like a year or some ago. Before it was more like a street group, in the sense that we wanted to make sure that the conversation would be like-minded, right? So we always went manager and above, but not because we want to exclude anyone. It's just because to make sure that the conversation flows. True. And people have the same experience levels and mindsets. But we started asking people to bring a +1, as long as that +1 moves in the same realm or adjacent of. So if you work in marketing or sales or whatever, HR is still okay, but you're still moving in the hospitality. So I think that helped a lot to gather more people. And I remember a lot of girls come to me and says, "Oh my God, I really want to be part of this group." So I can see that there is hunger in the market for for girls to have somewhere to belong to, right? So I hope we can really continue doing this moving forward.
Yeah, you should. If you need any help, let us know.
I
But
will.
in general, I'm telling you, now it's the year of communities, and I can feel that a lot. A lot of communities gathering together. They're creating some events, some special dinners, some special just book talks, as you said as well.
Yeah.
And it's really important to keep up this community because, again, people are supporting each other. Sometimes you cannot share with your best friend something which is you can share with leader who can really understand you.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
On the same career path, what is going on with your life.
True.
So these communities are very important, and thank you very much, first of all, for being a part of that, being the first, let's say, who created this community and sharing the experience with other ladies. And we are waiting for a new excited dinner, gathering, whatever. We are here to help you. So if anything, just let us know. We will be here for you.
Thank you.
We were talking about your energy.
Okay.
And as we said, you have very let's say huge energy. How you protect your energy? Because sometimes you can see that people sometimes is actually sucking the energy from you, and then how you're balancing all of this.
This is totally an age thing. I can guarantee you, because I remember back in the days, I used to get energy from going out and discovering new restaurants, especially when I was more F&B only, right? I used to have this list, when What's On in Time I'll come out. These are all the restaurants that are opening in Dubai. I used to keep my list, and me and my girlfriends used to try to tick off as many as possible. So, going out, socializing was a big part. I think, again, unfortunately, the death of my mom had a big part in the change in me. I became more introspective, I suppose, and also wanting to ensure that my daughter Mayra is okay, spending more time with her. So not really sacrificing, but just readjusting my priorities. So I started reading many years ago, something that I haven't done since I was a teenager, and I picked it back up. So that became a big part of my life. It's kind of like my go-to, right? Or like somebody, I don't know, they go kayaking or paddling or whatever. For me, it's reading. That's where I get a lot of energy. I'm just interested in all type of topics of books, and I read on the treadmill. I read I read at the pool. I read at the beach. I read everywhere there is an opportunity. Book is my first go-to. I was a professional swimmer back in the days, so going anything with water always works. So I have this ritual that when I'm off Saturday and Sunday, after, in the early morning, like around 11, for a couple of hours, I need to go to the pool. I mean, it really something special must happen for me to give that up. That's
wow.
Yeah,
I'm always giving up.
Yeah, no, I cannot. I will not make plans with you if it interferes with that time zone. Okay,
good to know.
Before
good
coming
to know.
today, that's why I said let's meet at 2, because I wanted to go to the pool in the morning, and no lie about that. And then the gym. I go to the gym. I don't like the gym. I'm not gonna lie to you. I much rather go swimming, but the pools that you have in the where you live are not exactly Olympic swimming pools, so you don't always get the best workout. But I find that I get a lot from it in terms of mental clarity. Plus, I'm not that young anymore, so I need to keep up, not shape or weight or anything, but just to make sure that I keep healthy. Right, it's important to me. So that's a big one. So 4 or 5 times a week, I wake up, I go to the gym, and then I get ready and I go to work. And I think that helped me a lot, level my emotion. Sometimes when I'm very angry, it helps me to clear my head.
Cool down,
And it's very important. I can only do it in the morning. Don't ask me how some crazy people go after work. I don't know how they do it. I will never understand. But yeah, I became much more of a morning person. I think since 2019, before I was like up until like 2, 3 in the morning, working late until
F&B,
midnight 1, right? But then when I went to double the palm, I had to start going to morning meeting at 9 o'clock. So I had to shift my priorities again. And I became a morning person. Now I wake up at 5:45. Hello. Like even on the weekend, I have this horrible biological clock but it's like at the minute, I wake up like 1 minute before the alarm goes off. It's scary. Okay, so I now I'm waking up and going to bed every day at the same time. But it's proven,
Yeah, it's good.
it's
Yeah,
proven
yeah,
to
it's
be
good
one of the best
afterwards.
thing
Yeah.
one person can do, and it really helps as well. So, yeah, and then just my daughter gives me a lot of energy because she's funny.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
she's so
15
funny,
years.
and she has. I think because of because of me, my same sense of humor, and she's like a best friend, so she gives me a lot of energy as well.
Is she is looking at you, looking up to you, like professionally, that she wants to do the
She's
same?
not allowed. I
She's
already
not-
been very clear. No,
Why?
no, I'm sorry. I mean, listen, hospitality is beautiful, right? I spent 25 years plus doing it, but it is a grueling and hard job. If you think about it, we are servants in the best possible way, of course, right? We're there to help people. We are a therapist. We putting out fires, right? We work more hours than anybody that I know, okay? And all with a smile on our face, time and time and again. We work when everybody else is off. The amount of birthdays, births, weddings, or even stupid things related to my daughter or my mom that I missed because of hospitality. Sometimes when you put the things, on the balance, you start thinking to yourself, really? I mean, now with the AI coming, probably it's a safe bet to stay in hospitality because is one of the only jobs that will always require a
Will be
human
there,
touch. So
yeah.
probably if that comes to that, when she's of age in 3-4 years to start working, and AI really has taken over the world, maybe I will tell her, you know what, go. Maybe don't do F&B though. Okay? I don't know. Do marketing or something. But to be honest, I would like her to do something else. I'm really pushing for her to go to university because it's one of my biggest regrets. I started before moving to Spain, one of the most highly reputed university in Italy that you need to do an exam to get into. It's a private school called Bocconi, and I was doing international marketing. It was the first course in Italy taught in English. This was year 2000, 2001. It was a groundbreaking. At that time, they still didn't even teach marketing in university, right? And my mom, because when you're that age, you don't listen to moms. Please listen to your moms always. That's all I can tell you. Not because of my mom, but, I should have listened to my mom so many times in my life. She told me, go for this. This is what you should be doing. And if I would have listened to her. And it was only a 3-year course, not even 5 years. 3-year course, people from all over the world. And then it was also with the minor in international studies, so I could have worked in the UN, in the NATO, something really to change the world, and I didn't listen.
But you had your own path, which is fantastic as well, right?
Yeah.
And you already did so much impact in hospitality. You've been one of the best leaders, which is empowering women in general, right? So you're showcasing that women can actually lead and have big positions, like you can go on the top. Because before, if you can have a look, like previous even years, only the male dominated, right?
Yeah.
All of the high positions, GMs, hotel managers. Now you're breaking the stereotypes in Dubai. So we are looking up to you, and we are looking, it is true. We are looking up to the women who really shape in hospitality and giving like the best way of being yourself in hospitality, but still knowing your path, what you need to do, and how to to guide every single person that you're working with. It's very, very important. Let's do a quick rapid fire round.
Okay.
One word that describes hospitality.
Intense.
Wow. Biggest leadership lesson.
Wow. Okay. There's so many.
So many, I know.
We don't save babies.
Good. We are not actually in hospital. We're in hospitality.
Yes, so there's a big difference.
Yeah. Luxury means?
Everything that you see, touch, smell, feel.
All around. One thing women should stop apologizing for?
Being themselves.
I think we could just close the chapter and that's all. It is really important because for me, for example, people are saying I'm really loud. In luxury hospitality, when I was working, I had the tattoos. You had the tattoos as well, which was not allowed. If you will, for example, will wear a green, I still remember in St. Regis, I wore a green suit, and they were like, what is this green?
I know, tell me about it.
And then
I had the same problem.
and for me it was like, what is not like a screaming green, is actually, really dark green, which is okay, not the black that you always have, but all of those, everybody was putting for me some of the barriers, and I'm still finding the way how to deliver sometimes. Of course, I'm not coming and screaming, hey, what's going on? Of course, I'm finding my way how to showcase myself, but it is really important to be yourself, as you said, and yes, to learn something from other people and just to improve yourself, but never leave yourself as it is, right?
Because that's what makes you different, right? That's what makes you you. Have you ever seen any man being sorry for being themselves? I haven't met any.
No,
right?
No one.
But that's a secret weapon that they have, and we should learn from them. I'm not here to be a feminist. I actually here to say, we're not. I'm here to say there are a lot of stuff that they do right that we can learn from.
Oh, 100%.
And the only way to regain, let's say our rightful space is to learn, right? The people, I think a lot of people just think, I have 25 years experience, I learn everything, I know everything. No, you don't. Until the day you die, you need to keep learning and observing, like how, they behave, how to say things, how they're unapologetic. I'm not saying everybody, but most of them, right? They don't say sorry for taking up space in the world, so why should we?
Yeah,
why do we need to say sorry for being different, unique, for having 40 tattoos, for, wanting to do things in a way, for wanting to wear clothes in a certain way? You should never be sorry, because be yourself, and then you will find, your space in the world. We cannot fit in everywhere. We're not supposed to.
Yeah,
right?
True.
That's why I was saying before, when you're looking for your next role and your next opportunity, don't necessarily go for the title or for the money. I waited 4 months for this job. I took 4 months off, gave away 4 months of salary because I wanted, and this was before the whole mayhem, so there were plenty of opportunities, because I chose the right project that resonated with me. Okay, yes, the brand also resonated with me, but but then I chose the people. The GM that I have now, it's a fantastic human being who treated me very well from the beginning. The team around him is fantastic, and I heard that the owners are great. So I chose people, not the brand, not the company, and not the salary or the title. I went down. I'm hotel manager again, reporting to a GM, but I did it consciously because I chose the people to work with.
And you will be happy about
Yes.
This is the main important. Okay, so just wrap it up. I just want to say thank you very much, Monica, once again. Because,
thank you for having me.
I think today you inspired a lot of ladies in general who wants to lead. And this is very important. Whomever is leading already, they can hear something that they're going through now. Maybe there is the path of their life that they're going through now. And maybe we actually pinch some of the topics that they will be appreciated afterwards. But for me, it is very important that you open up so easily and not shy to talk about your past, your futures, your present. I'm very happy that you have this time, and I know that you don't have much time because, as we said, your mother, you're going to the pool, you have your own time, and it's really important. Thank you once again for joining me, and I think this podcast will be one of the successful because it's honest conversation and it's something that people sometimes not having through all of their life. Right? So we are supporting you. We are here for you. And watch our podcast. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.